Hello, welcome to Always Yarn First, the podcast that delves into knitting, crochet, spinning, and all things yarn. I'm Lindsay, and I'm coming to you from Little Rock, Arkansas. To stay updated on my latest yarn adventures, you can follow me on Instagram and Ravelry as Always Yarn First. Welcome! Today is Wednesday, October 16th. It's right about noon, so hopefully the lighting will be better than last time. And before we get started, I have some admin. So if you were here the last episode and stayed till the end, you know there was a giveaway. So I have it here to get excited for all things stripy for the make-along I'm co-hosting. I am giving away this skein of yarn from Tiny Human Knits. And you just had to comment on the last video. So I have pulled a winner and I will put a picture in here. So please look up at the screen, and if this is your name on Ravelry, congratulations, you've won. So contact me at AlwaysYarnFirst@gmail.com and let me know your mailing address and I will get this sent out to you. Congratulations. So also, while we're on the subject of stripy things, might as well talk about the current make-along I'm co-hosting with Amy from Happy Little Yarn and Jesslyn of Jesslyn Janice on Instagram. Amy is co-hosting on Facebook, Jesslyn on Instagram, and I am hosting on Ravelry. So you can participate by posting photos on any of those. You can use the hashtag #StripeAlong2024. If you want to use a hashtag online. And then on my Ravelry, there is a finished objects thread, which that will be where we pull the grand prize winner after it. Whips are welcome. Anything stripy, as long as it's not machine knit, like no cranked socks or anything like that. And it can be self-striping yarn, or it could be something you have striped yourself. It doesn't matter. I think that's it. It goes till the end of the year. So if any of you have those stripy Advent socks coming, that would be great to post in December. So there's been lots of activity on the Ravelry, and I've seen lots of things online. So continue to make those stripes. All right. So let's get into the episode. Welcome. If you're new here, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for checking me out. I appreciate you, and I hope you'll stick around. I do a traditional podcast style, and I name every episode after a song that either reflects my life, my feelings in general, my making, could be literally anything, something that I like, because I like all genres of music, mostly. And before my love of yarn was my love of music. So this is episode 74, and this week's song is Good Feelings by Coldplay. It's off their brand new album. It's really good. And I have a Spotify playlist I have linked below. If you'd like to follow along with all of the podcast songs from episode 1 up to now, then you can follow that link below. All right, so this week I have finished objects, a new cast on, whips, a podcaster highlight, and acquisitions. So I will have timestamps below if you would like to skip around. Let's get into it. All right. I'm not wearing anything, although I can, because it feels like this week fall has actually arrived in Arkansas, which is awesome. But I was, from the moment I woke up this morning, I was doing a ton of errands. So I just threw on some workout pants and a t-shirt and ran out the door. So I am wearing nothing, but I have 3 finished objects. The first one is behind me. And this was a cast on from my vacation. This is the Party Line Scarf. This is a pattern by my friend Casey, who is YoungFolk Knits. I've never, I don't think I've knit one of these like little skinny scarves like this, but I feel like when I put it on, like I should say, ooh la la. Like I just immediately feel fancier. So this was using Le Garcon Fluff that I got at Skein Yarn Shop. And this is in the color Dancing Flamingos. And this was a 50-gram skein. And I made it exactly to pattern. And it was a great pattern for this. Really love that. So, just looks fancy there. All right. My last podcast too, I talked about mentioning that I just need to finish some things because I always have a lot of whips and that doesn't bother me, but it had gotten to the point where I'm like, okay, I need to go through some things and figure out what can be finished because this is getting ridiculous, the amount of project bags I had out. So I finished 2 other projects. So the first one I did that, well, I guess the second one, I finished that one first. Then I finished my Honeycomb Cloth. I've shown this before. You can't really see the stitch that great. But I have been making dishcloths in Knitpicks Dishie. This is the blue twist colorway. And I have been practicing my Tunisian crochet stitches. So this was the honeycomb stitch. I just cast on to how much I wanted, did the honeycomb back and forth. So it's not really a pattern, just, yeah. So I'm very happy with this. This is very nice and dense. So we'll make a great dishcloth. All right, the last thing I finished was this. This is Steek This Coffee Cozy. And this was a project for our retreat this year, for Arkansas Yarn Co. retreat where I work. We did the retreat and Jessa had a class for steeking. And so you had to knit this project up. Take it off this. You had to knit this up flat and get it to the point where we were steeking. And so in the class, she taught how to secure. We did like with a crochet on both sides. And then we picked up for the side ribbing. And one side made the buttonholes. And I have never wanted to sew or had no desire, but my daughter does. So actually so I have finished the knitting part, I think last week. And I asked my daughter if she would willingly please put buttons on for this. So actually she did it last night. So yay, it is officially done. So this was my little kind of homework and learning from the retreat. So I'm really happy with that. All right, so 3 projects finished. Quite happy. I am close to finishing another one, which we'll see in a minute. But I do have 1 new cast on. All right, so my new cast on, the last podcast I showed this. This is again purchased from vacation, and I was super excited to work with it. Even though I said I needed to bind off some things, I knew I was going to cast this on. And this is in my new bag. And this is using, let me remind you, or if you're new here, this gorgeous yarn I got. Here it is, how I bought it. Yes, it is that bright. And so this is 2 skeins of yarn, one in like a slub base, and then the mohair in the same color. So this is Moondrake yarn, and it's called Unicorn Clouds. The set together is called Unicorn Clouds, and the colorway is Juicy Fruits. It is, they call it a bubble base. It's 90% merino, 10% nylon, and then mohair is 72% kid mohair, 28% silk. So I got a free pattern. Well, I got the pattern free, I should say, because I purchased the amount of yarn needed. I got this yarn at the Mermaids Purl, and you can get this pattern on Ravelry. So, let me untangle, namely my mohair. Oh my needle going through the work a few times here. Wow. All right, all right. There we go. All right. So I cast on and got, let's see, this is the right side. Again, I'm going to hold it back because it is that bright. This is just a simple back and forth. You do 2 rows mohair, 2 rows the slub. Back and forth, back and forth. It's a 4-row repeat. It's super easy to memorize. I don't really need to look at the pattern. It's just mindless. It's very easy to do social knitting. And it's really nice because in this bag with the snaps on the top, I can have the mohair coming out between 2 snaps and the slub coming out between 2 snaps. So it keeps them not tangling up when I'm using the yarn. But this is just going to be a giant, obviously, because it uses 2 skeins each. So it's just going to be a giant, like, bias shawl. It's going to be awesome. And even though it's super easy, the colors are so bright and so cheery. I'm just loving watching this project unfold. That's kind of the theme this week. Colors are bringing me joy. Is definitely because I've talked about many times how sometimes patterns that are too simple, I get super bored. But this and one other project have mostly had my interest, and it's because of the colors, 100%. Like, I don't care how boring they are. So I think the goal is, which we'll see in one of my whips here, when I'm working a tonal colored sweater, I do want it and I like the color, but when I'm not seeing variation while I'm knitting and it's just a knit stitch, I get super bored. But when I see bright, happy colors, it's a different story. So that is the Unicorn Cloud Wrap by Mermaids Purl. All right, so that is my only cast on. So let's get into whips. Okay, so the first whip is my almost finished object. Been here for a while, you've seen this for quite a while. It is my Give Me the Tea. Now, this is the one where you're supposed to do folded over hems. So first of all, what I did work on was I finished the other arm, sleeve, whatever, what little bit there is. So I finished that. That's the other knitting. So all of the knitting is now done. So what technically is left is the fold over on the top and the bottom. I just cast this off and I'm not doing anything with it. I will just block it. So for this, I like how it looks rolled, the top. I like how it looks when it's on. So I'm going to leave that. That is done. The bottom, however, I don't like how it's rolled. So all I need to do is work on this. So I need to fold it up, and I think I'm just going to whip stitch it together. It's a pain, but literally this is all I have, and this project will be done. So just general stats about it. It's called Give Me the Tea. It was from 52 Weeks of Easy Knits book, and I used Plymouth Yarn Reserve Sport Solid in the colorway Navy. It's a cropped tee, very fitted. I love it. The material is nice. The stitching is nice. I really enjoyed using this yarn. So my goal is next podcast, end of the month, I want to have this as a completed object. This is on my Make 9 board. So hopefully next time it will be done. Okay, next on the whips, my October Desert Vista Dyeworks sock in my Trappings and Trinkets bag. I did finish a sock right here. And I started the second one. I'm doing these toe up. So I just got past the toe. Kind of hard to see. I just started on the 9-inch circulars after the toe. This is Desert Vista Dyeworks, the Viso based, and the colorway is Caribbean Colors. So not much to say about those, just vanilla socks. I did these toe up, shadow wrap heel, and I think I only did 10 rows of ribbing on this one. And that's it. All right, so the next thing is my Afterthought Everything socks. I've been trying to do these in little bits and post pictures on Instagram. I haven't posted these pictures yet, but I had a tube of Felici, the colorway Hotshot. So the first thing I did, they were connected like this. So the first thing I did is on the ends with the scrap yarn that comes with it, I did toes, 1, 2. So that's how it looked right here. So then I folded the tubes up. You can see here. And I cut right here. And then I did the cuff. So this one, all it needs is a heel. I will do the cuff on this one next. So I took different pictures of doing that, folding the sock in half, cutting the yarn, putting these on the needles, and then doing the cuff. So that's really like the second part, I think, of doing Afterthought Everything socks. So I will do that next on here. And then the last series of photos I'll do is figuring out where the heel goes, cutting again, and finishing off with the heel. So again, there's not a really pattern for that. You're just adding heel toe cuffs with a tube that you had cranked. So that is those. And the navy, I can't remember. It's just a yarn I've kept. It might be Mustache Yarns I got. And just a navy that I keep on the side for literally socks. So those are not in a bag. They've just been sitting on my cart. All right, the next thing is my other colorful project I've been working on. This is in my Black Pearl Magic colorful bag. And I've talked a lot about this. This is the one I got a ton of progress done on vacation. And I've been making pretty good progress, even though I'm just knitting the body. This is the Diggory Tee by Devin Ventre, who is knitting McPurley. And I am using Charming You in the colorway Oceanic Oasis. All right, so this is knit bottom up, and you can see my Arkansas Yarn Co. stitch marker over there. And so I've made quite a few inches. But again, the reason I'm able to do this is because I'm loving this color and I want to wear it so bad. I love it. I'm pretty sure this is my favorite color ever. I love how it's pooling. It's not like overly pooling in any area, I don't think. I love those pops of bright pink and orange. They give me life. So I have worked a lot on this, and my goal is to get to at least the sleeve separation by the end of the month. And I feel like I'm on track to do that. I just, this last week I finished the first ball of yarn. I have 3, so I'm in the second right now. All right, there is one more project that I've made some progress on. And it is living in my Tanny Casey bag. And this is the Mizzoni vest. So I am using Knitting McPurley Shopiversary 2023 set. Let's see where my stitch marker is. So I was just starting this pink again last time, and I'm on the last row of this pink for before I switch colors again. So again, this is bottom up You just can see the different chevrons. This was a 5-color set, and I love it. I haven't knit on this one a lot, but even though this is a sleeveless tank, or as it calls it, a vest, I still really want to get this done, and I love it. All right, that is it for the knitting. So moving right along, let's talk about a podcaster highlight real quick. So I have one new to me podcast that I stumbled upon, and that is called The Mingled Yarncast, and this is Steven. And I went back, I watched one episode, loved him, went back, watched a couple more, and I think he has a new one out that I haven't watched yet. But he is so much fun to watch. And then, like, before I even mentioned him on here, then he must have found me somehow, because I saw he started following me on Instagram, which I thought was so interesting. So definitely check him out. I will have him linked below. He is definitely one that you should watch. All right. So last thing I have for the day is a couple of acquisitions. Not very many. So let's see. I have 3 purchases. All right, so last time I showed my vacation haul, I got a lot of things from Skein Scoop. And I don't think I mentioned that I had placed another order with them right after I got home, or maybe on the way home, because then they had a big sale. So previously, I had purchased Barocco Remix Light. I can't remember where I got that from. It's been the last couple months. But I said that it was the first time I'd seen it in person, and I've heard great things about the Barocco Remix yarn, and I really wanted to just play with it. So I didn't know what I was going to make. I bought a skein of the Remix Light. I still have that in my stash. So when I was at Skein, I noticed they had the Remix, which is the, I think it's worsted weight. Yeah. Version. And they had a bunch of different colors, and I looked at it and I almost bought it when I was there. And I thought, no, I don't know what, I want to make a sweater out of it, but I didn't know, and I didn't have time to research it. And so I thought, well, this was good. I know that they carry it, so I can purchase it later. Well, then they had a post saying 40% off a bunch of yarns. We need to make room for new yarn. And I'm like, and one was the Remix. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they're getting rid of the Remix when I just said I'll order that later. Well, it was 40% off, so I ordered it. So I only have one to show, but I bought 6 balls of this. So this is Barocco Remix. It's 100% recycled fibers. It says nylon, cotton, acrylic, silk, and linen. And this, oh, it says colorway 3918 in rose. So I bought 6 skeins of this. You can see like the heathered look. And I spent, I think, maybe $45 to make a worsted sweater for me. And I even did pick it out, but I didn't write it on my notes. I don't remember what it is, but I'm really excited. I'm like, okay, that was like total score. This feels so good. So hopefully this winter, in one of the colder months, I will be casting this on. All right. Then Laura, Knit for Brains, she always has the cutest retro bags. And she had gifted Lori a one of these bigger bags, and I saw it in person. I'm like, man, okay, fine. So I ordered the socks out of it. This is strawberry shortcake, of course, the OG looking strawberry shortcake. So I just bought this little sock bag from her, Knit for Brains, and it's like pink polka dots, white polka dots on pink, which just perfect. All right, the last thing I got was an order from Knitpicks, and I forgot to mention at the beginning, I am a Knitpicks ambassador, and for the month of October, I have a 15% off coupon. It is in my show notes. It's all capitals AKPFIRST. So you can use that code if you're going to order. So one, for spinning, I had one of these tools and I lost it. I love this. You just put your yarn in here and you can see what weight it is. So I actually bought an extra because I was so paranoid of losing it. And I have 2 different e-spinners now. So they're a couple bucks. And so I just bought 2 of them. And that's what I went on Knitpicks to get. And then I was like, well, it feels dumb to just order that. So what else is there? So, of course, you always look at the sale items. And they had this needle holder. Really nice, soft. And I was carrying my little Knitpicks shorty set in a black pearl magic bag. But I think it's really meant for bigger needles because these kept falling out. Well, this is perfect. It is meant for shorties tips. So this is the option set, and the cables with this set of needles always make 16-inch in the round. So it has like a little back pocket here. It has a little button where I have my little stoppers in here. And there's even another, let's see, close that. And then there is like a zipper pocket here you can use. And there's another pocket you can use there. So really nice. It works perfect for these needles. So I'm really, really happy with this. And that's it. That's all of my acquisitions. We did it a lot shorter of a podcast this time. So if you stayed with me to the end, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Congratulations again to the winner. Please make sure to email me your mailing address so I can get that gift out to you. Please make sure you're posting on my Ravelry page for Stripe Along. And that's it. And until next time, I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.